Hi, Rich Nolan here, co-founder of TrackDrive. To give you a little video demo here of our latest features released the week of January 21st, 2019. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. Normally I'd be loading leads into a scheduler, but I have loaded some leads into the system so that I could do some demos with you here. But if you post leads into an offer in our system, like maybe a call center is forwarding you calls, if they post the lead data first, that's why you would post a lead to an offer. If you post the lead to a schedule, it's going to run through the contact actions to contact the lead. It's going to run through SMS, email, and outbound calls to get that lead in on your offer, and that would be if you just post to the schedule. The way this looks when I was submitting this, I just did submit leads, picked the offer. In this case I was trying to submit to, keyed in this information. I did notice that I typoed the amount of federal debt. It's supposed to just be SLC amount federal debt or something. It's the wrong token, so I don't get that value over there. Good example of, oops, I made a mistake and the data's not getting over there right. But that's how I just submitted a lead to this offer, and so these leads got put in the system. Now I have an offer set up here that in who I'm going to route the calls to is that first it's going to look for agents, and I paused my other two agents so that it will go to my soft phone here. But you'll notice that I put a token on the agents that says is verified not equal to yes, and then all of my buyers are going to have is verified equals yes. So when a call comes in on this call transfer, if my agents aren't available and all the buyers are set to only get verified calls, it'll say, please wait, or get in the hold queue or whatever. If I did have another buyer in here that says, no, I'll take the raw unverified calls, that's fine. You just wouldn't tag him with a filter saying that he wants only verified calls, and he'd get the overflow from your agent. So we really handle it all. But in this particular example, I'm saying if there's no agent available, then we're going to go ahead and put them in the hold queue or wherever I had this configured. Now in the advanced settings of the offer, under custom contact fields, I've told the system what I want the agents to ask for and what's required and what's not required. As you know, when agents are going along, there could be part of the script that says, okay, if they answer this, like in school, that may be that you have to terminate the call, because no one wants to get a transfer for student loan consolidation if the student's still in school, because you can't help them right now. So that may terminate the call. So I did add values here of unknown, because I'm requiring the field because I don't want them to skip over it. But if they have to terminate the call before they can actually transfer the call, I do want them to save it as unknown. They would say is verified is no, and hit submit, which means they update the lead data, but they're not trying to transfer it to a buyer. They're just saving the data. Okay, so that's that. And then let's see, on the schedule, we've added some things here for you. So we can dial with a number pool. That we've always had that, but I'll show you in our number pool some things that we've added. I can tell it to skip DNC. If you're doing real-time leads, no need to skip the DNC or skip mobile numbers. But if you are loading up old list, you may want to skip mobile numbers so you're not running into TCPA violations. However, we're just in beta on this, but we are going to allow for instant agent. It simply means we're going to call your agents or buyers first on this schedule, get them on the line, and then you loaded up 50,000 leads. We're going to be calling and throttle that up and down based on how many people we have to call to get each agent to stay busy. We're going to keep calling people out, and the cool thing about that is you would not need an IVR on the offer. The agent's sitting there waiting, and he gets one call from us. So he'll stay on the call. We'll give him a lead. He'll go through the form, whatever. He can press 8 to say, I got a voicemail. He waits for the beep, presses 8. That'll go off into its own conference with our voicemail is going to be leaving, our system will be leaving a voicemail on the consumer's phone, and then he continues on to get another call. So he never hangs up, another call comes at him. If you're not leaving a voicemail, you can press 9 and it'll just hang up and go to the next call. So we have a way to keep that agent on the phone and just keep giving him leads until he finds one that he can talk to. If they're discussing with somebody and having some issues, like they're screaming at them for keeping to call them, they would politely ask them to forgive them, and it'll remove them from our dial list. If the agent presses star, it will remove them, blocklist them on your TrackDrive account, and it will move you on to the next call. So the agent can just stay on the phone off hook. We call it off hook because of the old days when people had those phones that you manually dialed with your fingers. when you picked up the phone, you were off hook, and when you wanted to hang up on the person, you put the receiver back on the hook. So we call it off hook because the agents are already off hook before we're calling all of the consumers, the leads. Okay, and then we have detect answering machines. So if you are playing an IVR and you don't want it to, do, why they're not pressing 1 to get through, we can detect it's a voicemail, hang up, go to the next call. That'll all happen there. So let me show you on our number pools what we've added to kind of help along with here. So number pools normally used to optimize your ad spends, so we'll keep track of what you want us to keep track of and how many calls you got for each token you're tracking, but they're also used for our outbound dialing setup. So we do have these new features here where you can say, I do want to dial from a local area code if I have a number in my pool already. Secondly, I would like to map some area codes, maybe Northern Florida, these 3 area codes, use this area code to dial with, and then I add another match and say I want Southern Florida area codes to use this area code to dial, whatever you'd like to do there. That'll really help you out with making a local presence. And then third thing it would check is if I have a matching area code in the state, just automatically use that. You don't have to map it. And fourthly, it will look for toll-free numbers in your pool. If none of those things match, then we'll go ahead and use any random number in the pool and just dial the customer and send out the SMS. If you are using a number pool to dial and or send your SMS, when the lead first comes in, we're going to find a match and make that number sticky to the offer or to the lead, so that we keep using the same phone number as long as that number's still in the pool. We'll continue using that number to try to contact that particular lead. We are adding some more overrides, so when you do place a call, since we do make the number sticky, you could force it. Not done yet, but you'll be able to force say, oh, for this third call I'm making to them, use this exact number to call them, so that we can take care of that. We do not allow people to spoof caller IDs. By the way, anytime you're calling a consumer, we just won't allow it. It's illegal. We don't want to be complicit in anything that's illegal. Although it's extremely easy to dial with any area code in the world, we don't allow that. So if we're dialing a consumer, you do have to own the number in your TrackDrive account. Okay, so did all that, and then here's our agents. I do have 3 agents on that offer, as I showed you. The little icons, I put one in them each time. So when you're setting up your agent records, it's very nice. So this agent record here, that's a soft phone. That's a TrackDrive soft phone. We only allow 1 call at a time to each soft phone, and so that's the way that goes. Sorry, let me silence that. I already had it silenced, but it didn't. I have a different Chrome going here. So this is a soft phone agent. If they weren't online, this would be the same shape, but it'd be red with a slash through it, so you'd know whether your agents are hooked to their soft phone or not. So this is a soft phone. This is us forwarding to a call center with SIP capabilities, and this icon means we're forwarding to a phone number. And what will happen here is that these 2 here can have unlimited CC. So we can be saying, okay, they gave us 10 agents to work with us. We can forward a whole bunch of calls to that same SIP line or phone number, and they will have the ability to pick the call they're on and do all the stuff they need to do, and simply click Find a Buyer. That third-party call center doesn't even have to have a clue who they're forwarding the calls to, because our Find a Buyer button just does it for them. This allows for you to have, like maybe Uber, the Uber of call center. Hey, you want to make some money? Log in. We'll start sending you calls, and they'll be able to get calls from all over the place. So back to our contact fields. Oops. Our contact fields. Right now it's just contact fields, and it'll be in this order, and they'll just be able to fill out the form. On a future release here, we are going to go ahead and put scripting in here, so that an untrained agent, if he's a good call center agent, the call will come, we'll pop up the call he's on. It's asking him to read through the script, and obviously those scripts will be available so they can preface themselves before they're taking calls on those type of calls. But that'll allow us to put these contact fields right in line with the script. And again, I'd already said, if you don't know some answers, that might end the script, but we're going to put it right through a script. So that's what the people will see eventually, is you write out your script and put your contact fields right in line with the script, so they can just run through the script and be entering the right field values. Okay, so that's everything. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to my agent screen. I did that on another browser because I'm logged in as admin in one, and this over here I'm logged in as an agent. I'm going to go ahead and call the number here. And I'm calling from my office line, so since I had put a lead in to the system that was my office line, it's going to go ahead and pull up that data. So the phone's ringing here. I'm going to go ahead and answer that. Now you notice agents, anyone that in the team record that is an agent, will be able to click on this icon here to work on the call they're on. And this is bogus here. I happen to have an agent with the phone number, and I'm also calling from the same number, so it thinks the agent's on the line. So that's not there. That won't happen to you folks, but it's happening to me because I'm using the same number both as a lead and as an agent record, so it thinks I'm on the call. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and edit the info. So in here, I'd be filling out the information, and I'd click Save Changes, which would bring me back to here, and then all I have to do is say Find a Buyer. If I click on Transfer, it will show me buyers I can transfer calls to, or other agents. I might be on the phone. Maybe I've even been doing this for customer service, and the problem is I need to send it to level 2 support. You can transfer to any agent on the system that's on this offer, or any buyer that's on this offer. But the best way to do it, if you're just training a call center that's out there doing work for you and they're not intimate with your buyers, all they have to do is click Find a Buyer. It treats that call as if it came in with all that data on it, and we automatically found a buyer for you, and we route it to that buyer. Now it's going to enter a conference. Then once we do Find a Buyer, it'll bring in the conference as well. It'll bring in the, I'm sorry, refresh my dashboard here. It'll bring in the conference as well, and now I'll have 3 people in here. So I'd have the buyer I forwarded it to, and then I will just drop off. So as I'm going through here, I would just drop off. Now if I was in the mode of being off hook already, or our instant agent, I would press the 9 button, which means hang up this call, hang me up, and move on to the next call. So that would start a conference with just the consumer and the buyer and go off on its way, and that's going to be a new call that can convert to a duration. And then that agent that's in instant buyer or instant agent will still be waiting for more calls to come along. So all the functionality that the agent can do will be available. We'll probably add the buttons for, leave a voicemail, skip on to next call, or star means block this caller, hang up on them and block them. We'll add buttons here to do that, so you don't have to use your key presses on your phone. Alrighty, so that's how the whole system works, and there's lots of ideas I have on how you can make money with this functionality. Feel free to contact me on Skype at Richard P. Nolan. If you'd like to get a demo of this or set up, we'll get you going on that. Thank you and have a great day.